Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So it looks like we might be in the Arctic Circle, but we're not.
It looks like we're still in a park in London.
Kind of, yeah.
But we're not.
And please forgive the cameras doing a little bit like this because it's very windy.
Yeah.
But we're actually in a park just around the corner. We've done a reading here before. And just around the corner from where we live, because we're back in New York City. And yeah, we just decided to come out for a walk. And apologies, well, today is Diwali.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, happy Diwali, happy Deepavali.
Yeah.
And may the light of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the light in the darkness of Kali Yuga, shine into your life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Alright, Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 6.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Alright, text 6. The great sage Narada then addressed King Prachini Bahishat, O one whose lifespan is great, Virat. In this way, King Puranjan begot 1,100 sons within the womb of his wife, Puranjani. However, in this business, he passed away half of his lifespan. Purport.
Only half. It took him half his life to have 1,100 children.
Yeah. In this verse, there are several insignificant words. No, significant words.
I was going to say, why would Prabhupada even comment? They're insignificant words. What word is insignificant in the Bhagavatam?
The first of which are Ekadashi Shantani. Puranjan had begotten 1,100 sons within the womb of his wife, and thus passed away half of his life. Actually, every man follows a similar process. If one lives for 100 years at the utmost in his family life, he simply begets children up to the age of 50. Unfortunately, at the present moment, people do not live even 100 years. Nonetheless, they beget children up to the age of 60. Another point is that formerly people used to beget 100 to 200 sons and daughters. Jeepers, as will be evident from the next verse. King Puranjan not only begot 1,100 sons, but also 110 daughters. At the present moment, no one can produce such huge quantities of children. Instead, mankind is very busy checking the increase of population by contraceptive methods.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting, because I see also like online when people have large families, 4 or 5 onwards, like sometimes you get, certain faith people have a lot of kids and they want them, that's an important point, and they look after them, they're healthy and they're brought up loved, but they get a lot of criticism on social media. Why you have so many children and not good for the planet and this. And I remember hearing in classes many years ago how, as far as feeding the world and making sure whoever's in the world is sheltered and fed, Krishna sorted that out, because this planet is bigger than this president and this prime minister and this ethical charity or whatever, it's bigger than that. The fact is, it's due to mismanagement, corruption, politics, all this sort of stuff, that why people don't have money and food, I should say, more than money, basics. Like when we've been traveling, we always point out, wow, there's so much land, so much greenery. And it's sad to say, I'm not making this a political statement, but you hit so many poorer countries and it's like they show you images of children sadly malnutrition and bloated because they don't have food and this and that. But we all know, if you don't, you can definitely look it up, the leaders are living very well. And they could definitely house people and they could definitely switch things around in their accounts department to help people. And so it's God hasn't made a defect in this world as far as people having sunlight, moonlight, water, whatever, food. You know, like Prabhupada said, you can have a little bit of land, grow your vegetables, have a cow, Bob's your uncle, you know. But yeah, so that's where the lacking is. So when you read things like this, you know, it can definitely, it just reminds me of people that can be quite critical and lying. Why have so many kids? Why you have more than one kid, or at the most 2 kids? It's, you know, you don't dictate that, you know. Yeah.
1,210 children is still quite a significantly large amount. Prabhupada said people would have 1 to 200. That is like...
I know, but if you can feed them and keep them happy.
I think there was something recently I saw that like a woman in a Guinness Book of World Records who had the most children, and I think it was something like maybe 25, 28, someone can correct me. But, you know, and it's like, yeah, you can easily spend half your life just having kids, that's for sure. If you have 28, and, you know, even if you start when you're 20 or something, you know. Anyway, so let's read on. We do not find in Vedic literatures that they ever used contraceptive methods, although they were begetting hundreds of children. Checking population by contraceptive method is another sinful activity. But in this age of Kali, people have become so sinful that they do not care for the resultant reactions of their sinful lives. King Puranjan lay down with his wife, Puranjani, and begot a large number of children, and there is no mention in these verses that he used contraceptive methods. According to the Vedic scriptures, the contraceptive method should be restraint from sex life. It is not that one should indulge in unrestricted sex life and avoid children by using some method to check pregnancy. If a man is in good consciousness, he consults with his religious wife, and as a result of this consultation, with intelligence, one advances in his ability to estimate the value of life. In other words, if one is fortunate enough to have a good, conscientious wife, he can decide by mutual consultation that human life is meant for advancing in Krishna consciousness and not for begetting a large number of children. Children are called parinama, or byproducts. And when one consults his good intelligence, he can see that his byproducts should be the expansion of his Krishna consciousness. So here you have one of those statements that, if taken out of context, you know, we can either start to think of our own children as like they're just byproducts, which is not really a very healthy space to be in. Or we can just, you know, think that, it's like, why would I want to produce byproducts like that? But the point is, in Krishna consciousness, you can, you know, the main point of understanding, as far as I'm getting here, is that one doesn't want to waste half or 3/4 of one's life just basically indulging in sex life. Excuse me, I think there's one story, Prabhupada visited a man, I can't remember, maybe it was in Kurukshetra, maybe it was somewhere else, and when he kept introducing, this is my daughter, this is my daughter's husband, this is my daughter's children, this is my wife and her brother, and this is my son and his daughter, his wife, and he just kept going on, and Prabhupada turned to the devotees and said, this is my sex life, basically, you know. And so, so the point being that we're very proud of our progeny, and we're very proud of procreating, and we're very proud of maybe whatever, our stamina in sex life and trying to enjoy. But if it's just for the sake of sense pleasure, it is simply a byproduct of what? Of my sense gratification. But at the same time, when I was back in the UK and I gave class at the Manor, there the verses were on the appearance of Lord Varahadev, and just before Lord Varahadev appears, Swayambhuva Manu and Satyavati, I think is his wife's name, they approach Lord Brahma and they're like, "Dear Father, you know, we want to engage in the service of procreating as you desired." And Brahma had just come off the back of being completely fried with the 4 Kumaras who decided they didn't want to engage in sex life and they wanted to stay celibate monks. So when Swayambhuva and Satyavati came and said they wanted to do it, he was glorifying them and praising them. And for what? Because they were going to become progenitors, which means they were going to produce children. They were going to produce byproducts. But why was Brahma even encouraged or inspired to see someone produce children? Because he was instructed to do that by Krishna. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita himself that he himself is that sex life which is not in opposition to religious principles, which is according to the principles of Dharma. So it's not that the production of children is bad or should be seen as byproducts. So I think we should be very, very careful about these kind of things. And we should understand that if I'm trying to do it as a responsible Krishna conscious devotee, and you know, I am trying to raise my children the best that I can to be Krishna conscious, then we shouldn't think of them as byproducts. Sometimes it's very easy because there basically can be, you know, having children can be very, you know, difficult. What was it? Oh, you weren't there. It's one lady at a program I did the other night, she said, "I do have a question for Krishna." And I said, "What's that?" And she said, "Why did he make raising children so difficult? You know, he could have made it a little easier." It's like, she's like, you know, as a mother, I'm just like perpetual. I love my child, she said, but it's perpetually like a difficult, challenging situation. And I thought, God, your kid's only about 8 years old. Wait, you got the glory years yet to come. Anyhow, rant finished.
Okay. Is that it?
Amen. So we look at 7. Read one more. You want to stop here? It's up to you.
I'm going to stop because there's a little...
Your conscientious wife.
Yeah.
You
Time.
stop? Okay.
Time is the element.
Time is the element. Okay. So we're going to stop here. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Happy Diwali.
Yes.
And sincerely wishing you all the best for the year ahead and for the rest of Kartik. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.